All right, y'all. Greetings to Self Community. My name is Ayn Ely. Welcome to the Healing Series presented by Wholistic-ally. As the founder and creator of the Self Care After Series, a community initiative, a community intervention that infuses social justice education and cultural wellness practices, I was invited by the lovely Ashley Jones, the brainchild of this wellness series, to host this kickoff. So welcome. What's up? I'm happy to be in community with everyone. Um, the Healing Series is a direct result of a common goal, a goal to uplift, heal, and strengthen the Black community from within. What originally started as a plan for a single virtual event quickly grew into a thoughtful and timely initiative set out to address several areas of need within self, family, and community. Now, personally, I always say the hood can heal the hood, and we don't need no outsiders. And I chose all of our community members to contribute to our healing, our wellness, our growth, our liberation. The creators of this series are everyday citizens who saw a need and are looking to help address it as best we can, using what we have learned individually and collectively to heal the whole, right? It takes a village. We lift as we climb. A lot of these things are inherently built into our culture as African people, as African American people, as Black folk of the diaspora. So it's really just about leaning into what has been set before us to do the healing that we need. Before I introduce our lineup, I want you to bring attention to your body. We're just going to do some deep breathing before we get in. Breathing is important. We oftentimes offer very shallow breaths to our body, but um, it's advantageous for us to be more body conscious. So we are going to practice this by inhaling through our nose deeply, expanding our lungs. You should feel your lungs expand on your back, your sides. And when you exhale, exhale out of your mouth. You should release a sigh. Everyone's on mute, so you don't have to be self-conscious about people hearing you, okay? All right, so we're gonna breathe in. Ah, that's how it should sound. Yeah. And as you inhale, allow your body to move with you, right? And as you exhale, allow your body to move as well. So that means pulling your shoulders up when you inhale and releasing your shoulders as you exhale. We hold a lot of tension in our body. And not just tension, all of our emotions, our body remembers everything that we experience. This looks like as you're driving and you hear a police siren. If you Black, you get stressed out. Cortisol just went through your body. Your body feels that stress. So our responsibility is to offer breath as a means to decompress and de-stress our bodies in real time. So continue to breathe as I go through these fabulous introductions, as I name the lineup of these people, beautiful people who will be bringing their brilliance to this space. So, Wellness Through Painting, that is brought to you by Jasmine, top left on your screen. Jasmine Mullen is the creator of Hippie Queen Artwork, an art brand that focuses on self-expression through art. The canvas becomes the safe space to express thoughts and feelings on various topics in a physical format. It gives opportunity to self-explore and self-reflect, to better understand one's feelings and thoughts. With a master's in public health, Jasmine knows that mental and emotional health is an important aspect in today's world, and this form of painting creates that outlet. You can find her information at Hippie Queen Artwork on Facebook and IG, along with paintwithheart.org. And this information will be in your chat, and we'll bring this up at the end of our event. So welcome, Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine. Yay. Next up, we have Wellness Through Fitness and Self-Defense. That's Shady in your top right corner of your screen. Say what's up, Shady. Shady was born and raised in rural New Jersey. His mother imparted in him the principle of respect from his earliest years, and his unique domestic circumstances presented him with a choice between resiliency or ruin. He chose the former. Since then, he has leveraged that parental endowment to change first himself and then his community. Equipped with his degree in social psychology and complemented by his personal experiences, Shady is committed to facilitating a stronger foundation for the communities through engagement and collaboration with cohorts and community members. Thank you, Shady, for your contribution. I always say that when Black men heal themselves, the entire community gets healed as well. So you have a lot of work to do, and I thank you for the labor that you're doing. Next, we have Ashley Jones, y'all. Let's see, left, she's waving right under Jasmine Mullen. Yes, we have Ashley. The phrase Ashley Jones is a brainchild behind Capture Impossibilities and Release Boundaries. I'll say it again, Capture Impossibilities and Release Boundaries. This is a slogan for Dreamcatcher LLC, a company founded and operated by Ashley Jones. Ashley has embraced all forms of art from an early age, but she holds a special place in her heart for dance. Sounds about right. Starting lessons at the age of 4, she quickly found that dance gave her a voice when it felt like she didn't have one of her own. As a young adult, this passion for dance coincided with a personal journey in health and wellness, which helped to bring about Dreamcatcher LLC. This business is built upon the idea that all of our dreams are possible and can be achieved with a shift towards more health-centered mindset and lifestyle. A Dreamcatcher LLC seeks to give others those tools through dance as well as a monthly blog. I want to lift something up that I read recently. It was naming that some tribes in various countries in Africa would prescribe dance as a remedy to depression. So again, built into our culture are answers to how we get free, answers on how we get well. And it's as natural as moving our bodies. So I'm excited. Thank you, Ashley. Last but not least, I am your host, Ayin Ely. As a community activist, passionate community activist, a social entrepreneur, I launched the Self-Care series, which is a nonprofit that combines social justice education with wellness. Why? Because racial discrimination is stressful and stress is lethal. My 2 initiatives are a digital learning experience entitled Intro to Healing from and Unlearning Internalized Anti-Blackness, and a self-care kit, which is an LLC that offers an abundant and diverse set of holistic healing tools to combat daily social and circumstantial stress. It is available on Etsy, and it is a kit for working class people, because those are those of us who need the healing the most. So thank you all. Those are introductions. I'm going to get started in my presentation before we break off into our rooms. And if you need assistance on where and who you signed up with, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and Jasmine, Ashley, or Shady will connect with you there. So let me share my screen. Give me one moment. Let's disable participant screen. Let's see. Jasmine, I may need you to disable screen sharing for me. What's up, Bridget? What's up, Hashim? Cool. All right, thank you, Jasmine. Okay, y'all could see my screen. Can I get a head nod? Yeah, awesome. All right, y'all, so welcome to Self-Care After series. Self-care after all the things that we gotta heal from, whether that's self-care after workplace, self-care after a fuckboy, self-care after the many things that we gotta heal from running into the police, self-care after all of that, right? Let's see. Here we go. So the work that I do really centers, is based on the research from American psychology that affirms communities subjected to a higher frequency of adversities experience more stress. Makes sense. But in experiencing that stress, what I have discovered is that what we lack is an expansive emotional vocabulary to really be able to name and examine what is causing those stressors in our lives. So this is an amazing tool that I use in all of my workshops called the emotional wheel, or feelings wheel. I know Jasmine, with a master's in public health, she's familiar with this. What you have are the primary emotions in the middle: mad, sad, peaceful, powerful, joyful, scared. But what we tend to find is that these emotions are more indicative of deeper experiences and feelings. So for people who are more marginalized and oppressed, there may be a pervasive feelings of feeling inadequate, of feeling inferior. And not because these are indicative of your reality, but because we live in a society that inundates us with so many messages to suggest that we are inferior. So you may be going throughout your day and you feel sad and you don't realize because you were maybe in a workplace and you were overtalked and that triggered feelings of inadequacy. Same thing with being lonely. I know with COVID-19 and having to be in the house away from people, particularly as people of community, which Black folk, Asian folk, Indigenous folk are, this has been really difficult on us. So a lot of us have been feeling that loneliness, and that has triggered feelings of sadness as well. But on the flip side, when we're feeling at peace, I think it's important for us to really explore those positive feelings as well. I think we spend a lot of time exploring, okay, where does stress or pain or sadness show up in the body, which is very important. That's why the breathing we did in the beginning allows us to decompress, right? But we also want to know, where does joy show up? Does it show up in your tummy? When you get a creative surge, do you feel like a tingling in your temple, or does a smile just come up on your face? Where does the stimulation show? When you feel excited or sexy, where is that? We know that we carry stress in our hips, but where do you carry your joy, right? Where do you carry your power? When you're feeling valuable, do you feel that in your heart space? Does your heart feel full? That's what you want to begin to work through when it comes to processing your emotions throughout the day. I think one of the beautiful things that COVID has brought, even though it's brought a lot of grief and hardship and despair, is the time to sit with ourselves. So while this is on the screen, feel free to take a picture of it. I also offer this in the self-care kits in a physical format, but use this as a tool to be able to expand your own emotional vocabulary. And if you have young people that you are either parenting or connected with, this is a phenomenal tool for them as well, as they work through their many emotions and have emotions for the first time, depending on how young the people are in your life. This is a great tool to assist them in developing their emotional vocabulary. Have any questions so far? Y'all good? Y'all with me? I see some head nods. I see some thumbs up. Bueno, bueno. I'm learning Spanish. Estoy aprendiendo español. Meaning I'm learning Spanish, so I'm gonna, use several colonizer tongues in this presentation. Next up, this is called the cultural iceberg. So I lift this up because I want to communicate that wellness and how we heal is cultural as well. And we live in a society that presents mainstream as common. It's important for us to know that what's presented as mainstream is really white dominated Eurocentric ideas. And that mainstream reflects their culture, which is fine. But what is the key to our healing, the key to our freedom, is tapping into the natural parts of our culture that has been established long before we were thought of to begin our own personal healing journeys. So we know culture to be food, rice and beans if you're Dominican, holidays, Kwanzaa for the cultural holiday, aesthetic, language, vernacular, the stories that are told. But what is also a part of culture is body language. The head nod, you see it around a Black person, what's up, right? Concepts of cleanliness, family values, biases, relationships to authority. In Southern Black culture, that's that yes ma'am and yes sir. Work ethic, thought patterns, pride, rules of conduct, but again, wellness. So that looks like wellness through movement, what Ashley is going to be doing. That looks like wellness through art. I don't know if y'all hip, but African people all across this world have breathed so much art and liveliness in every land that we exist in. Look at Brazil is vibrant, Cuba is vibrant. That's because we are vibrant people. So I'm really excited for the type of art and healing that's going to come up from Jasmine. Also fighting, and not fighting in like the raunchy sense that we know fighting to be, but in the self-defense, right? How do we defend ourselves so we know, and Shady may have to correct me because I don't want to give credit to the wrong Asian community, but with karate, if someone is a black belt in karate, they're not starting fights, right? Because they know that the harm that they could potentially cause. But it's also a cultural element of we don't start none, but we finish it. Maybe not articulated in that way, but that's definitely the paradigm, right? Of not initiating harm, but protecting yourself, protecting your body. As a black people, we exist in this paradigm in which disproportionately white folk have been responsible for enacting a lot of violence against our bodies, right? Our physical bodies and also our emotional, mental bodies. The hostility we may experience in workplace from microaggressions. The sense of self-defense is being equipped with the tools to protect you from those types of harms and violences that happen. But when you live in a society where you casually see videos of the state violently interacting with Black community members, that positions your body in a fight or flight simply by seeing that. And what we have to do is increase our resiliency through the form of fitness and self-defense. And I hope that you all are able to see the correlation between our social society and how it impacts us in real time, and how it impacts us on a mental level, emotional level, and a physiological level. And how this series, this experience, is going to touch on many of those things, right? One of the ways that we can combat oppression, something our ancestors have always known, is through joy. Joy through movement, joy through producing art, joy through defending oneself, because it feels good. You feel empowered when you know that you could defend and protect your being. Y'all with me? Yay? Awesome. Beautiful. To wrap up, y'all, this is just some of the work that I do. And again, I'm so honored to have been brought into this space as an expert in my field, connecting social justice with wellness, so we know how we got to survive this thing, y'all, because we are impacted by so many different areas. That means that we too have to include so many modalities in approaching our healing, right, and to get free. So I want to offer up my course, Intro to Healing from and Unlearning Internalized Anti-Blackness. This is a trauma-informed experience. It is a loving experience. Like I said, I believe that the hood can save the hood, that we don't need no outsiders, that we have everything that we need to do the healing that we deserve, the recovery that we deserve. And I really want to lift up the importance of love. Not like the fluffy love, but when love is present, even our criticism shows up differently, right? When your grandma's mad at you, it's still sweet, right? So I want to offer that type of love to be present in how we engage with ourselves, right? But also how we engage with community members, extending more grace to one another. So you can sign up at scas.thinkific.com. Throughout this experience, will be putting the links to the other work that our dope hosts have offered up. Like Jasmine, she has a site for her artwork. Ashley has Dreamcatcher, the business that I lifted up, and we're going to dig into what Shady has. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and put my face back on camera. Y'all good? Bueno? Awesome sauce. I'm excited. So you all are going to, thank you, Bridget. You all are going to go into your breakout rooms. Again, we have art, we have movement, we have self-defense. And after that, we are going to commune and have a brief discussion, little Q&A situation. And this would allow us to get our next steps, right? We are future builders. We look forward to what is to happen next. and that allows us to be more practical and intentional in our forward movement. So thank you all. I'm gonna hand this over to Ashley or Jasmine.